Hey everyone, this is Zamara Perry. Hey everyone, this is Zamara Perry, and I am the founder and editor for BlackLesbianLoveLab.com. If you have never heard of BlackLesbianLoveLab.com, then I'm here to clear up any confusion that you may have. It is a blog that is focused on Black women who love women and our relationships. And so, let me know if y'all can hear me because sometimes my earpiece is not the best. But I wanted to make sure that I came on and had this conversation with you all, and just kind of wondering how everyone is, and then also wondering if folks can just go ahead and drop in the comments and let me know where you're joining from. So I normally do this live broadcast twice a week, between 7 and 7:30, Mondays and Wednesdays. And so today is Monday, and I thought, let's have a conversation about actually evaluating our relationships. And I'm really, really curious. I learned this concept several years ago from a lovely couple. They no longer do coaching, but they had a thing where they had a form that you filled out as a couple, right? So one partner got a particular form, another partner got another form, and it basically evaluated several different areas of their relationships. And I thought, we should have more conversations about this. Where are you in the relationships that you are a part of? Where are you? Are y'all good? Are y'all bad? Because normally what happens in relationships is that there's a feeling that something is wrong, but nobody really addresses it. People get an attitude, or they walk around being unhappy, or they decide that, let me bring somebody else into the situation. That'll solve the problem, right? And so I just wanted to kind of have a conversation and say, can we try something a little bit different, lesbians? Can we do something different besides just kind of living in ignorance? I honestly believe a lot of folks get into relationships and they're ignorant. They have no idea what's going on. They have no idea what their partner feels. They have no idea what they're doing wrong. They have no idea how to fix whatever the issue is. And so they just kind of hope that things will get better quietly. Of course, that doesn't work. But so before I go all the way in, I'm going to go ahead and give a shout out to my folks who are on Facebook and Instagram. And I'm over here trying to do YouTube. I don't know. I'm getting an error message on YouTube. So I'm sorry, y'all, on YouTube, if you're having problems. My bad. I'm over here trying to do the multi-streaming thing, and it is not my forte. So please be a little bit patient with me while I figure it out, okay? And also, like I said, I want to give a shout out to my folks that I see, my peeps in the room. Thank you so much for joining. Hey, Lisa. Karen, what's up? Hey, Nina. Hey, Shola. Hey, Marie. She's joining us from Daytona Beach, Florida. Girl, I'm jealous. Hey, Deborah, Pamela, Nicole. Hey, Cynthia. Naja, Akon. Thank you, lady, for letting me know that you can hear me. Hey, Rara. And Michelle, Angela, Akon. Hey, girl. Hey, Frank. Naisha. Girl, it's been a while. I may have forgotten how to pronounce your name. Hey, Bridget. And who else? Hey, Tracy, good to see you. And Terry. Ladies, how are you doing tonight? I'm so glad to see you. And Karen's like, yeah, I made it, because she's very rarely on, so I'm very happy to see you. And then folks on Insta, I'm glad to have you join. I'm going to do this more often on Insta. I know y'all are probably like, who is this person? She's never on here. And, like I said, tonight I just really want to talk about the fact that we really need to evaluate, aka rate our relationships. And if you think about it, it's a very normal and healthy thing to do. Let's not pretend, okay, and be confused, because that's not going to get you what you want. So Queer Trans Event is from LA. She says she can't stay on here long. Okay, great. Thank you so much. I'll definitely DM you, girl. CJ. Hey, CJ is in New York. That's Scorpio. Oh, I have feelings about Scorpio. Hey, Nisha. She's from Frederick Express, one of my friends. Fresh Sugar. Hey, New Orleans is in the house. Hey, Focus. And who else is in the house? A whole bunch of folks is in the house. Ooh, the Professionally Petty Show is watching. What? What? Okay. So I'm excited to have you all join, and please feel free to jump in and have a conversation, because this is a conversation. This is not just me on here just saying a bunch of stuff. I really want to hear what your thoughts are, okay? So give me 1 second, y'all. Let me do a couple other things. I'm going to make sure that I can see the comments on YouTube just in case. Okay, yeah. So folks on YouTube, very there. Hey, Angela. Hey, girl. She's in Lawrence, South Carolina. Hey, Sarah. Juanita from Baltimore. We're neighbors, sort of. And Lakeisha. Hey, girl. It's good. She said she finally caught my live, girl. I never do lives on YouTube, so this is like a treat. This is like my second time doing it. And who else is that? Hey, Net. All right, y'all. Let me just get straight to it, okay? Because I know I don't want to like hold back on the conversation. Okay, so first of all, let's do this, okay? Let's do this. Do you know that, I mean, most people, if you have a job, I don't know what your situation is, I'm not going to judge you. Hey, Tanya, girl, she and I go way, way, way back. It's good to see you. So let me tell you something, okay? Every time that you have a job, you start a new job, you have like an employee evaluation, right? I know I had one. I had one every job I ever had. My boss, my supervisor would sit me down and say, hey, Z, you've been here for some months. You've been here for a year. These were the things that we agreed that you would do when you started. And let's kind of see how you're doing on those things. I think a lot of times people have this misunderstanding that all you need is to just love each other. If you love each other, then you shouldn't have any issues at all in your relationship. The person that you're with should be able to read your mind, should be able to get you and just figure out that, what you mean this, or you meant to say this and you didn't mean to hurt her feelings, and that you're happy, especially if the person doesn't leave. Like most of the time we wait until there's an argument, there's a fight, there's somebody threatens to leave, before we start really looking, at the relationship and to find out, is it healthy? Okay. And the health of the relationship, I think sometimes, and I've done it, sometimes when we go into a relationship, we make this big show of the external stuff and looking good and make sure we always look good for each other. And we're going in thinking, I just want somebody to keep me company. I don't want to be lonely, and so the person is there, they're keeping you company, and the sad part is a lot of us are in relationships where we feel very lonely. So the fact that somebody is there with us in our physical space does not mean that the relationship is great, that you have a great relationship. That doesn't mean that at all, okay? And so I guess kind of want to say, let's do this, right? And I want to ask you all, how have you generally dealt with your relationship? Are you in a relationship that's a 10? Are you in a relationship that's a 5? Are you in a relationship that's a 1? And if you're in a relationship that's a 1 or a 5, why are you still there? And does your partner know that you consider the relationship a 5? And what does she think of the relationship? Is she perfectly happy and you're just assuming that because you're there that the relationship is going well? Let's talk about that. Hey, Mel. Hey, Niece. Felicia, Tanyetta, Maq Ele. What's up, y'all? Let me see if I can get a couple more comments here. Robertson Groove says, woo, child, you better preach. Hey, Nisha. Nisha says, I'm an 8 to 10 most days, but I know it's me some of the times. An 8 to 10 is pretty good. I mean, that's like a B plus, A plus. That's pretty good, Nisha. Have you checked in do you check in with your wife to find out, where she is? Maybe she feels like it's a 10 or 12. Knowing you, she probably thinks it's a 12. So Tracy says, I rate my relationship at 9 because there's always room to grow. I love that. Thank you so much for sharing that, Tracy. And Lisa says her wife says their relationship is a 10. And I am so happy to hear that. I love hearing about the 10s. Like I said, we have been there before in the past. Some of us have been there. And I think the thing is, you have to have had a couple of 5 or 7 relationships for you to be able to be like, you know what? This don't feel good and I don't want to repeat this. Okay? If it doesn't feel good and you don't want to repeat it, let's talk about why you need to have more of these conversations. Before I do that, I want to remind those of you who may not know that we actually have a private Facebook group, which is a great support space for women who want to meet other women, to connect, grow friendships, maybe have a little, love thing. Who knows? We've had some love connections in the group. But one of the most amazing things about the group, it is a place where it is safe for us Black women who love women to speak our truth and to get the support that we need from each other. It's a secret group. It is a paid community. And some of the wonderful benefits is that you get to hang out with mature, very, very mature, kind, loving, open-minded, and well-educated women who are able, we learn from each other every single day, it doesn't matter where you are, in your relationship journey. You could be single, you could be divorced, you could be a mom, you could, wherever you are, you could be on the edge of a breakup. This is a space for us, and we support and hold each other up. Our members also get access to several relationship resources. We have an amazing, amazing library where members get access to replays of some of the great conversations we've had with previous guests. We've had guests talk about, who've been together in long-term relationships, share their secrets about how they have made their relationships last for so long and that they still love each other and they don't want to kill each other. We've had people come in, therapists come in, counselors, coaches come in to really talk about and get down to the nitty-gritty of how we can improve our relationships and ourselves. Sometimes we think that the only thing that we need to work on is the relationship, but you're a part of the relationship too, so you got to work on yourself as well. So we have some great resources there for that as well. We offer our members access to a happy hour every first Friday. We also have meetups, and we're planning a vacation for next year with just the members of our private group. We offer a group coaching with our spiritual life coach. There's just a ton of really amazing things that you get in this amazing group just for joining. I'm going to go ahead and drop the link here on Facebook so folks can go ahead and join the group. If you have any questions, please message me. I'll be more than happy to help. I'm going to also drop it on YouTube as well. When you go to community.blacklesbianlovelab.com, that's community.blacklesbianlovelab.com, you will be redirected to a page where you will get an ebook about communication, which is amazing because that's what we're talking about tonight. We're talking about communicating what you need and what is not happening or not working in your relationship with your partner, and you can still stay together. So go to community.blacklesbianlovelab.com. You will get your free ebook just on communication, and then you'll be taken to our checkout page where you can pay for your membership. If you are a first-time member of the group, you'll get half off your first month when you use the coupon code new member. If you have any questions or trouble joining, please message me. I'll be more than happy to help. So Kendra says, my last 2 relationships were a 5 and then a 3. So now I'm ready to work on me and what I need to do not to repeat those mistakes. Kendra, girl, I'm so glad thank you for sharing that. I understand the feeling. I wonder how long they lasted. If they were a 5 and they were a 3, and did they start out as a 5? Or did they start out great and then they just over time degraded to a 5 and a 3? How did you all handle the situation? Clearly, y'all broke up, but I'm wondering if you ever had any conversations with your partner about how you could improve the number before things got to the point where you didn't want to make any change. You didn't want to try anymore. So Angela says she's not in a relationship at all. That's perfectly okay, Angela. So here's why it's great it's okay that you're not in a relationship. Actually, I'm gonna go scroll down for a little bit and get a couple more comments, and then I'm gonna jump back to Angela. So Karen says she likes relationship evaluation. She likes the idea of it. Hey, Marilyn, welcome. She says this is her first time. Dina says, I'm single, but my heart is with someone. Our relationship is at 4.5. It needs some work. Y'all, I'm over here trying to do 5 million things. So my phone almost fell over. For those on Insta who are wondering what happened. Dina says, I'm single. Oh, I'm sorry. I just read Dina's message here. The relationship needs some work. Does your partner believe, or your person that you want to be with, what does she think the problem is? And so Lisa says, my last relationship was a 2. Look, ladies, single ladies, do not jump off. This conversation is for you as well. It's especially for you. So do not jump off. Michelle says, I just left my relationship that was a -10. I can say I stayed because of my own insecurities regarding abandonment and just a whole lot of fanatical hope regarding who I thought she could be. We were very toxic for one another, and I never wanted to repeat that experience. So, Maq, congratulations on ending that relationship. Thank you so much for admitting that you both had issues, because people tend to like to point the finger. It's just this one person, and they never want to take any responsibility for their role in the relationship. So Robin says, I'm in a relationship with myself at the moment. Self said I'm a strong 8. So thank you so much for sharing that, Robin, because that's what I was going to say with Marilyn, with Angela, who says she was single. It wasn't Marilyn. I can't remember who it was. My bad, y'all. But here's the thing. You are always in a relationship, even if you are single. And one of the biggest challenges that people do not do, including myself, I struggle with this at times, okay? I struggle with giving myself the things that I need, and then I get all upset when my partner doesn't give me what I need. How can I be upset at this other human being for not giving me what I need when I am not giving me what I need? Okay? So let's start rating ourselves before we start going to the partner. Rate yourself. And there are lots of forms you can find online. I can definitely create one if you want one. I'll definitely create one for the private group. But if you feel like, you know what, I am not in a good space today. Like my mood is on a -10. What can you do to not bring that mood into your relationship? Because the -10 mood that you have is definitely going to impact your partner and your relationship. You're going to have an attitude of some sort. Look at yourself and then look at the relationship together. Sometimes we want something so badly that we do not understand that, hey, this is not working. And what can we do? So before I go any further, I want to say to folks, before you get into a relationship, you should be having this conversation. Before you get into a relationship with somebody, you need to sit there and ask her, okay, babe, let's sit down and talk about what are our goals for this relationship. Our goals for this relationship, is it, I just want to have fun and have sex and have a companion? Those are superficial reasons for being in a relationship, because you can have that without being in a relationship. And these are great things to have in a relationship. And you want that. I'm not going to dismiss them, but that should not be the only thing. So ask your partner, what are the goals that you have for your relationship? What is the goals that she has for your relationship? You tell her what the goals are that you have for your relationship. And then you sit down and create a list of things that you hold as a high priority together. Okay? And then you make an agreement. This is how you make sure that there is no fighting. You make an agreement and you say, hey, let us agree that if we're not hitting these marks, that we need to do something to change that. That was the advice that we got from one of our couples that we recently interviewed. They've been together for 16 years and they're still happily together. They made a decision that there were certain things they agreed and committed, that there were certain things that they were going to have in their relationship and certain things they were not going to have. And if one of them was slacking, it would be brought up. So you can have a monthly family meeting, and you can say, okay, babe, how are we doing in the areas of communication? How are we doing in the area of sex? How are we doing in the area of, Instagram. How are we doing in the area of finances? How are we doing in the area of intimacy? How are we doing in the area of fun? And then you rate it and you say, and at the very end of the day, you can say, you know what? Okay, now that we've sat there and really looked down and see where the air, and don't be offended when your partner says, you're not doing that great in the bedroom area. I wish that we would cuddle more, or I wish we would have more sex. Don't get upset with her for telling you how she truly feels, because you really want somebody who's going to be honest with you. Don't you want honesty? Come on now. Like, why would you want to be in a relationship with somebody who cannot tell you how she really feels because she's worried that you're going to get upset? Don't get upset. Be happy that she's telling you this. And it depends on the way that you say it too. If you say things in a very loving way, which is that, look, this is kind of where I am. I wish we could do more of this. I would love it if we could do more of this. How can we do more of this? If y'all work too much to have sex, okay, baby, how can we make sure, sex is really important to me. How can we make sure that we get it in on a regular basis so that we're both satisfied and connected? Okay. Oh, how about Sunday morning? Can we do it on Sunday morning, or can we get up at 4 a.m. in the morning and do it? Or, can I come home at lunch for a quickie? Or if you are long distance, can we do can we do some phone sex? Like, what can we do, right? And so this is why I say that it depends on the way you approach it. People approach certain things like they feel attacked, they feel personally attacked. And one of the ways you have to realize it, one of the things you kind of have to make a switch to mind wise, is by realizing that if you are in a relationship with someone who truly has your best interest at heart, she probably wants to have an even better relationship than what you're having now. And so when she makes suggestions or says, babe, I'd like us to do XYZ, think of it don't get offended and shut down. Think of it as in, you know what? This person cares about me, which is why she tells me things. And I'm going to use the analogy that I use all the time, which is look at the friendships that you have. If you have a friend who cares about you, and she says, Z, you said you were going to do X, Y, Z, and you didn't do it, and I was very disappointed. Somebody who doesn't care will probably just be like, you know what, I'm going to make a note that this person's not reliable, and I'm never going to expect anything from them again. But a real friend is going to say, guess what? If you promise me something, I'm going to hold you to it, because I have higher expectations of our friendship and our relationship. So, hi, Bright Navy. Hey, Quicksilver gal. Welcome. Kendra says the 5-star didn't start at a 5. It was 2 years and communication was poor. She didn't want to communicate. Then I jumped to the 3 before healing. So thank you, Kendra, for sharing. She was sharing, how her previous relationship was a 5. And it's interesting because, again, like I said, this is why you have agreements at the very beginning of your relationship. And if that person is a person of integrity, then when you say, babe, we're not communicating and it really makes me feel some kind of way that you don't want to hear me, or I feel ignored, I feel like you're not hearing me, then this person should be like jumping for joy to figure out, how can we fix this? And do we need to get, help? I mean, last week I talked about things that we are not putting up with anymore in relationships. One of those things should be that the lack of communication is a deal breaker. If you do not want to talk about your feelings, if you don't want to talk about a problem, then we can't be together, okay? We just can't. We can't go together. What's the point? Letitia says, I'm single and I have been dating her for a year and it's a 5 because of no compromising, but I also am torn because I feel there is potential for maturity. She's an Aries and I'm a Cancer. Interesting, these Aries Cancer matches. So Letitia, so a year is a really long time to consider yourself still single. And it sounds like you're still single because this person has not learned how to compromise. Why do you think there's a potential? Because sometimes we hold on too long. And sometimes when you are willing to put the relationship on the line and say, hey, this is not working, let's end this year, I I can't see myself being with somebody for a year waiting for them to grow in a really critical area of life. I'm assuming, Letitia, that she's done some growing. But again, if you feel like it's a 5 after a year, what are the things that she's doing? Does she know it's a 5? Does she know that? Because I think you're staying and you're staying with her despite giving her a whole chance of over a year is making her think that the 5 behavior is okay. All right. And that's why I say you should rate people, because once they see hard numbers, people are more likely to react. Like, who wants to be a 5? If you told your partner she is a 5 in the looks department, then that is a reason for her to get herself together. Okay? Some people, they may hear they're a 5 in their personality or character, and they think it's okay. It's never okay, because the only reason why it's okay is because you are putting up with it. All right, so let me grab a couple more comments. I missed quite a few. Hey, Mai. Hey, Sonia. Donette, what's up, my sister? Let's see. Deborah says, no communication is absolutely a deal breaker. Standing strong, what's up? You've definitely changed your government name, girl. I see you. And let me see who else. Hey, Ebony. So Ebony says honesty over everything. And I'm so glad you said that, because that is something that we often do in our relationships is we lie. And that's why I say having a rating system is a way to get the honesty growing in your relationship. A lot of times we lie to people because we don't want to hurt their feelings, or we feel like, oh, it's not a big deal. But whenever you hide things from somebody who you are trying to have an intimate relationship with, what you're really doing is you're contributing to the relationship breakdown. You're contributing to deception. You're contributing to basically having that person be stagnant. Because if you're able to be honest with them and say, hey, you know what? Our relationship could be better, but let's work on XYZ. That I feel like you'd have a completely different situation. Hey, Tony Braxton. Hey, Net6. Kendra says she needed to hear this. I'm glad to hear that. Let's see. Who else have any other comments I missed on Insta? Thanks all for hanging with me. Let me grab a couple more comments on Facebook. Let's see. Hey, Donette says, I'm late, but I missed. Girl, you got to catch the replay. What's up with that? Where you been? We start at 7-ish, like on the semi-dot. Hey, Shamika. Hang on, y'all. Let me grab a couple comments. I want to make sure I haven't missed anything. Marilyn says, my girlfriend said goals for our relationship are love each other, respect each other, listen to each other, and last but not least, communicate with each other. I love that, Marilyn. That's wonderful. I love those goals. And I think it's actually great for you to actually write this down. And how often you do it is up to you. But I feel like at least once a month. The couple that I got this method from, they did theirs once a year. But I think a healthy relationship involves, like at least once a month. I mean, if you have a date night once a week or something, then you should be noticing when something shifts and changes, right? Just a reminder, everyone, we'd love to have you, we invite you to join our private paid Facebook community. It's a great community of mature Black lesbian women who are looking to make connections with each other, make friendships, make love connections. We've had some great success stories of love stories in the group, and I'm so happy to have been a part of that. I can think of 2 off the bat right now who I'm like super happy about. It's a great place to meet with like-minded women. It's a private, secret group. The only way you can join is if I send you a link to join the community. This is after you've paid. There's also online resources for members. You have ebooks. You have videos with information from life coaches, therapists, couples who've been together in long-term relationships and have been very successful, couples with an age gap, couples, where there is poly relationships. There was just a treasure trove of information only accessible to our private members. If you join our private community, you'll get access to these amazing resources. We also have opportunities for us to hang out online. We have a happy hour, we have meetups with in person, and we also have a vacation that we're planning for next year. It's a vacation and a retreat, and we are limiting it only to the women in our private group. So go ahead and join. The fee is nominal. It's basically the same price as Hulu or Netflix or something like that. And the benefit is that it's material that's created for Black women by Black women, and you'll be supporting a Black-owned business. So go ahead and join. Go to community.blacklesbianlovelab.com. You'll get a communication ebook just for checking out that link, and then you'll be taken to our checkout cart where you can go ahead and put in the coupon code new member to get half off your membership. If you have any troubles joining, please go ahead and message me. I'll be more than happy to walk you through the process. And the best thing is that it's super easy to cancel. If it's like not right for you, because it's possible that it's not right for you, then of course we'll be more than happy to cancel your membership. Not a problem. But we have a lot of really happy. Like I've just been making all the wrong choices and repeating the same mistakes over and over again. We'll get you all the way together when you join the private group, okay? Sanye, she is one of our wing women in the group, and she helps women who are struggling with dating kind of get out there again. And so she says community is important. We love having Dr. Ye in the group. Hey, LaCarol, good to see you. Hey, Carly. Den says communication and honesty is important as a single person. I'm at peace with myself and finding the time to self-evaluate. And let me go ahead and share again. The link for joining the private community is community.blacklesbianlovelab.com. I hope to see you in the group soon. So Robin says her goal for my next relationship is not to receive fives. I would look at it a slightly different way, Robin. I would say that your goal for your next relationship is what you want to receive, not what you don't want to receive. So maybe I would say, my goal for my next relationship is to, be at a 9 at all areas of our relationship, 9 or above. Just Jay says, will you speak on general versus concrete or tangible goal setting, especially within a relationship? That is actually a great request, Just Jay. I think I might actually make that be a topic for next week. I already have a topic selected for Wednesday. So I will go ahead and, because I have some couples who have done some really amazing things together because they were able to have a vision, set a goal, and then keep each other accountable to reaching that goal. So what I'll do, Just Jay, is I'll make a note and we'll have that conversation next week, okay? But thank you so much for that suggestion. That's a great idea for a topic. Delise says, I have forgiven myself and pledged to do better. Most of the times we are reacting to what is thrown at us. So while I forgave myself, I still have to pay attention to the red flags and not abuse myself in these relationships. Delise, thank you so much for mentioning. The key word is, forgiving yourself. Sometimes you don't know. You have to go into something and be in it. And sometimes we just really don't know. There's a lot of emotional attachment that happens when you're with somebody. This isn't right, but it's so hard to leave. It's so hard to bring up things because for some reason she all in her feelings about something, okay? So Mai says her relationship was a 6 because we stayed together, but 4 because we lacked communication. Interesting. Thanks for sharing that. She says, hang on, y'all. Let me grab a couple other folks, see that I'm not missing any comments from other folks. Thanks so much for sharing your thoughts and opinions, folks. I love to hear everyone else's feedback. Oh my gosh, Carla! I was thinking about you the other day, and I was like, whatever happened to Carla? I haven't seen her in a long time. Girl, how you doing? It is so good to see you. I hope it's the same Carla. I think it is. I'm pretty sure it's the same Carla. It's good to see you, Carla. Let me see who else is on here. Hey, lovely Mahogany. Hey, J.A. Boss Lady, what's up? Let's just say hello to all my folks on Insta who are watching. Thanks so much for joining. Do me a favor, y'all. Please share this out. Tag somebody. I forgot to ask y'all to do that, and I'm doing way too many things to share my own broadcast out. But I would love it if you will help a sister out and share this out. Tag somebody to have them join the conversation. Hey, Courtney, good to see you. Let's see. Naja, what's hot? What y'all talking about? I'm totally missing something. Thanks for joining, Marilyn. I'm about to wrap up in a minute anyway. It says good to see you. Did someone ask me if I want a wing woman? Girl, I am the wing woman. I'm the main wing woman. But thank you, though. Thank you very, very much. Let me just make sure I haven't missed any other things that I wanted to talk about tonight. Overall, I just want to say you have confusion when you are passive. You cannot be passive about your relationship. If you had a job and you were doing a 4 and a 5, depending on who owns the company, more than likely you'd be fired, okay? So why shouldn't your partner say, look, babe, this ain't working. Let's work things out. So Letitia says, oh, Carla says she's in a beautiful relationship. I am so happy to hear that. Congratulations. And Letitia says, I feel the reason I have continued to date is because she's getting better with not trying to compete and dismiss my feelings as not valid. She's now seeing her actions, but she is on thin ice. Okay, as long as you're clear, Letitia, on what's happening and why you are continuing to prolong the relationship, girl, you happy, I'm happy, okay? But I feel like a 5 is not happy. So hang on. Let me just make sure I haven't missed anything else. Ignorance is not bliss, y'all. Ignorance is not bliss. Confusion. The reason why people end relationships all the time. And I always hear from people who say, yeah, I don't know why the relationship ended. She just left. Okay, come on, y'all. Even if you don't actually do any review of your relationship, you have to know something is wrong unless you're completely completely unaware. You're just completely ignorant. And for those of you all who are looking for a wing woman who are in the private group, there is a pinned post or an announcement in the group that tells you where to go ahead and fill out the application, okay? So you can hit me up directly for sure, Maq Ele, or you can go through the announcement section and there is actually a link in that announcement section for your wing woman, okay? For you to fill that form out. Oh goodness, there must be time for me to let this go. Hey, Valerie. So again, oh hey, lovely lady. Let me just make sure, just to repeat, here are some questions you can ask your partner, just in case you were wondering, what do I put on the list of things? Because you can go into more detail. I wouldn't make it overwhelming, like maybe do 10 things because, you're only human. This person is not perfect. You're not perfect. So, go with 10 things. And you can also maybe switch things up every other month. You can alternate between the kinds of things you want to talk about. But I would say go with 10 things, make it very simple. But here are a couple of ideas for topics you should be asking your partner about. So here's a way that you can phrase it. Okay, what are you struggling with that you're afraid to talk to me about? Which is not really a rating, but it's an open-ended question to get your partner to admit that maybe she doesn't feel comfortable talking to you about certain things. Okay. What do you need that I'm falling short on? Do you honestly see a future with me? And if not, what can we do? Is there something that I can do to repair that or fix it or change that? How well are we communicating? Are you happy with our sex life? Or is there something that I can do or we can do to improve it? Are you happy with our current lifestyle? So those are some questions to think about adding to the list of, evaluations for, where the partner is going. And again, remember, what you would want to do is you would want to ask the partner to also, it's mutual. You're both evaluating each other and you're evaluating how you are coming together in your relationship. So I've done a variety of this with people I've dated. So you don't even have to be in a serious relationship to ask this question. You can also be just getting to know somebody. And actually, it's more powerful for you to do this as you're just getting to know somebody, because you do not want to go too far down the line without addressing what could be a serious problem in your relationship, and ignoring it and hoping it's gonna go away is not the business. Okay, it's not the business. All right, ladies, thank you so much for joining me tonight. I really appreciated this conversation. Thank you so much for joining me, folks on Insta, folks on YouTube. I'm sorry, it looks like I'm frozen on YouTube. My bad. I'm not sure why that's happening. Folks on Facebook, thank you so much for the support. I am on doing a live broadcast every Monday and Wednesday night between 7 and 7:30 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. If you have not liked the page, go ahead and like it, and sign up for notifications so that whenever I go live, you'll be able to catch me live, and we'll be able to join the conversation, live, because the replays are great as well. But I always want to hear other folks' ideas so we can have like an interactive conversation. Please do me a favor, share this out. If you have a group, share it out to your personal page. If you're in a group, share it out. I appreciate it, so other folks can be a part of the conversation. And then, of course, if you want to join our private community, we'd love to have you. Go to community.blacklesbianlovelab.com. That's community.blacklesbianlovelab.com. And I will see you on the next go around, because, of course, people are going to watch this at different times and days. All right, y'all. Have a wonderful night. Bye.